traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? A dingle! We're gonna be rich!
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind. Greeting, traveler.
Hello and welcome everybody to the season finale episode here of the season 13 Legacy Series Finals. We have our champions with us today, or at least most of them. We are missing just one. Couldn't make it, but we got most of them here. Tap last. Let's hear from the guys. Say hello, everybody.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello. Awesome. Great. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about with you guys about the win and how you guys are feeling and the whole season in general. But before we get started, I did just want to thank everybody. We were awarded best show, which felt really good. I'm sure it had nothing to do with having two board members on the show, but you know, I'll take whatever
No.
kind of award I can get. And I also got the content producer award, so I appreciate that to everyone that watches, enjoys the content that we're producing here. But yeah, so yeah, let's just hop right in. We have Tap Blast, like I said, and we have some. If you have questions for them, just please type in the chat, and yeah, let's get started.
Yep.
Oh, you wanna review the match or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pull that
Yeah.
up.
All right, there we go. All right.
All right. So yeah, obviously the three seed didn't get played. The match was determined before that. But yeah, what do you guys want to talk about to sort of this victory here? And I think you got to zoom out a little bit. I'm looking at this stream. For some reason, it's like not capturing the whole thing. You just wanted to cut me off somehow.
For me it is.
No, I,
Really?
I I see you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see it
that's
too.
weird. Maybe
On
that's
my
just a
screen.
glitch for me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reopen it. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Okay, yeah. So I want to hear from you guys first about your thoughts on the matches that did get played. We don't have base here, so I guess we can hear from all of you. Let's just start with Tris.
I talked about it last week when I was on.
Hmm.
I think Zabe got unlucky, and I got like a bit like more than lucky. So I think, but I honestly think that 3-0 doesn't determine how close the game were. Because if he
Hmm.
would have won game one, he probably could have beat me. But I ended up just snowballing off game one, which felt pretty good.
Yeah, and I know that match was played before we were on last week, but yeah, I mean, you guys had a very dominant start. Almost came back, but you guys managed to secure it. So yeah, let's hear from Icicles.
Yeah, so our match, again, I'd echo the sentiment that 3-0 is not really representative of how close the games were, especially the first game, which was the Resurrect Priest Mirror, where
Yeah.
I imagine so many bloods got played. And we were both at like 6 or 7 stacks by the end, by the time we were playing at Luciana's. So it was pretty crazy. And then the other two games, I found towards the end of the season that I didn't have a best class that I was playing, but opponents had a worse class against me, and I was just able to beat Res Priest consistently every week. And I think that's what happened with you. You ended up playing the Res Priest again 2 more times against the Hunter and Paladin, and I got
Yeah.
good Zephyrus, good starts, and was able to just keep that going. So, but
Yeah.
it was a good series, I would say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely. I don't know what's going on with me and Res Priest. Glad it's gone now. At least that iteration of it. Um, even in the duo series tournament, I was talking to Charmo before the show about this, and for some reason, my Elysianas are just so bad. And then my opponents always get like really sick of Lysianas, and we don't mean I've only gone to turn timer a couple times because of that. Like it usually ends up like, okay, both games, the game's pretty even throughout. Things go back and forth. You get to your Lysianas. Sometimes I'm ahead by the time we both play Lysiana, sometimes behind, whatever. But either way, it always seems to come down to just Lysiana RNG, and that doesn't seem very fun to me. But such is the priest mirrors, at least as they were. And then I did play it 2 more times, like you said, and kind of drew no minions, I think, a couple times, and no
Yeah,
removal when I needed it. So definitely can low roll those decks as well.
yeah.
I
I
also
think
Um,
my Luciana gave me Seance, which is just
right.
nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you had to play one early or something. I forget exactly what happened. I played so many of these Res Priest games that just these mirrors that like
They just blend
it's all
together.
blending together, all the like things that went wrong. Um,
I had
but
the game. I felt like I was kind of being a little more aggro than a Rest Priest normally
mhm.
is, and so I felt like I had a pretty good advantage. And then you stabilized and brought it back. And at one point, when we were trading Azaz, I hit like 6 bloods in a row and dropped down to like 15 health.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
to play the Elysiana earlier than I wanted to, but
Hmm.
then I think you responded pretty quick with it, so it kind of evened out again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also in that mirror, a lot of times it was like just getting Emperor is so powerful. Like you were able to do some crazy things later in the game because
Oh yeah,
you had so many discounted cards, and I think I drew my Emperor like super late,
Yeah.
and that was your first minion you played, so you were able to res it consistently.
Right. My N'Zoth and my Luciano are both 4 mana by the end.
Yeah, so you were able to kind of combo that even if you wanted to a couple times, do some crazy stuff. But yeah, such is Hearthstone, and we'll see. You know, we're excited for this new expansion. We'll see kind of what crazy things come out of that. Yeah, the second game or the third game did not get played. Starlax against Desharma. Desharma, you want to speak to that one? Okay.
The Charm, you're supposed to win that.
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. Hmm. Oh wow. Sure. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's definitely what this team format's all about. And I want to reiterate, like matches like this, where I mean this is the finals. It's two very comparable teams. A lot of it just comes down to a little bit of that RNG. I don't think anyone was making any incredible misplays in most of these games, from what I saw. Uh, so when it comes down to that, it's like deck choices, queue order, and a little bit of that RNG. Thank you, by the way, for the subscription, AK for life. I'm not sure who that is in THL, or if you're not in THL, please join or consider joining. Uh huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Oh, shiny pants. Welcome. I mean, how am I supposed to guess that? Come on. But yeah, we have and then our last match, Volkai's here. I know I spoke to Turd Herder. Yeah, that it came down to game 5. It was very close. We lost a really powerful 5 seed earlier in the season with Mr. Shad's kind of stopping his not enjoying Hearthstone so much anymore and kind of getting a couple DQs, and had to find someone else, and Turd stepped up, and he really like improved, I think, a ton in those last three weeks when he joined us. So really appreciate him coming in and playing for us. But yeah, let's hear from your point of view, Volkai.
He definitely made me earn every single win.
Yeah.
That was a very hard fought series, and yeah, he was absolutely lived up to the title of a worthy opponent.
It's good to hear. Yeah, I know you did mention in the chat earlier that Starlax recruited you actually to THL, so kind of very cool to be able to face the team that he's on, and see kind of from the other side as well. Looks like
Absolutely.
we had a pretty consistent strategy. Didn't pan out for us this time around, but there's always next season. I think a lot of us we'll be here again next season. I think on both teams. I'm not sure which teams you're going to be on. You probably don't have the PR for you guys to stick together, but
Yeah.
we don't really either. So definitely gonna have to figure things out. But
Yeah, I'm not capping again next season, so
Fair enough. Well,
yeah. I have a
yeah,
100% win rate as captain now, so
yeah,
I'll retire from that.
yeah. There you go. That's all you need. You get your one win, and then just dip. But yeah, I mean, you guys had a really, really good season. Only one loss in the season was to us, so you got your redemption here.
Yeah.
And yeah, any other thoughts about this series or just the season in general? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Absolutely.
I think I want to talk about how Icicle came in at 375 PR and then killed it for like the first like 6 weeks and then got to the one seed. Like I think our one seed like overperformed than like what I was expecting like out of like me and Icicles and base. I think we played really well and kept us like alive and made us an elite team compared to like an average team that we would have been without the one seed being as good.
And you guys winning too kept us in the kept me in the 4 seed because I was
Yeah.
winning too, but you guys are winning, so I never left the 4 seed. So I
Yeah,
stayed
that's
there.
yeah, like our team really should have fluctuated like more in the 3 and 4 than it should did, but it never did. It only fluctuated between the 1 and 3, which was to be expected.
By the way, I think the last time I was talking, I was muted, so the show probably didn't
Oh,
hear me talk.
uh-oh.
Yep,
What were you saying?
I don't remember.
I'm sure it was incredibly profound.
Oh
Yeah.
god, I always do this. Every show I make one major mistake.
It's
I'm,
just it's tradition.
yeah, I
You
know.
always screw something up. That's why we love you.
Go back in the VOD and you'll see my mouth moving and you won't hear anything.
Oh boy. And all of us just
For
listening
radio.
intently, shaking our heads. Oh, okay.
Oh
Uh-huh.
my god.
Well,
I
I
pulled a
appreciate it.
Charmo.
It was my first season in THL, so it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely doing it again. I'm joining the Hero team. I'm actually joining Dad Legend for Hero. So
Yeah.
somehow they have convinced themselves that I should be the
Whoa,
one
whoa,
seed.
whoa! Woo. You can't
I
be
can't.
revealing that stuff right now. The team
Oh,
reveals haven't
Leaks.
happened.
Leaks.
hey, see, this is what
Hey.
happens. First time in the league, and I don't know what the rules are.
Leaks. I mean, there's no rules. People say that stuff a lot and leak stuff, but technically, there's like a whole period of time after before the season starts where all the teams are revealed and there's this big
Yeah.
hype and all that. So
People want to know.
um,
People don't know who's on what team yet, so it's like
All
pretty
that
cool.
is allegedly. Allegedly, he might be joining a given team.
Exactly.
I'm a free agent again. I've just been informed. So
You've been removed.
Actually,
Rumor
you've
has
been
it.
cut for leaks. You've been cut for.
Oh my god.
But yeah, should be a
That's
lot of
the
fun.
we call it the icy leaks.
there you go.
That was
but
a
yeah,
dad
I
joke.
think
That was really bad.
No, I liked it. It's perfect.
Hey,
Seems
that wasn't
appropriate
an
for a
opening.
certain alleged
true.
team.
a certain alleged team. Yes, exactly. But he's not on that alleged team. Allegedly.
No.
Allegedly.
No, clearly on the screen it says that I'm in top last. So there you go.
Right. No
Yeah.
question.
Speculation.
I want to point out that I think the one reason why Tap Blast was so successful, literally the top 3 seeds were like 1 seeds playing in 1, 2, and 3. That's
Mhm.
just the nature of how sometimes PR works out that way. I guess we all had sort of a bad enough season the season before to come in.
That's actually really funny because Base was in the 14 on London Warriors. I was on the 3 seed in Burbs, and then Icicles was a new player. So that's funny how that worked out.
Mhm. And yeah, it's something to note is Base actually has won 2 Legacy championships in a row now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Icicles, for
Icicles.
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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Icicles.
This was my first
Yeah.
season in Legacy as well.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I love it.
That's impressive. Yeah, Imako just you were afraid to say it until now. I was wondering when you were gonna bring it up. He's in the call.
I keep forgetting he's in the call. Yeah, Icicles. I mean, it's
Icicles.
pronunciation.
Right.
I don't know why you would go by icicles when there's obviously a better pronunciation of the word.
It's interesting that you bring that up because the name was first used back in WoW, and my whole point of it was to be an ice mage, but also to kind of go with the Cleese ending, like Sophocles or something like that. And then
One of the
when I spelled it out,
great
I was like,
Greeks.
oh wait, this actually just spells icicles. Dang it! So everyone just called me
Why am I
icicles.
so smart?
The original intent was icicles.
I'm gonna be so
Figure it out.
crafty and then
Feeding
spill
my
a real
ego.
word.
Yeah. I'm a genius. That's amazing. All right. Any other thoughts on the season, or are we ready to jump into kind of looking at the or what do we want to do next? Should we do the prediction stuff, or do we want to do the favorite card? Talk about the new expansion.
Well, I'd just like to say something I did differently this
Mhm.
season than I've done in my prior seasons, mostly in Hero, not Legacy, is I just brought the same Hunter deck for the entire season.
Okay.
Say
really?
hi
And
to your future
Strats.
opponents, by the way.
Strats.
Say hi to your future opponents watching this clip
Well,
right
I mean, they
Well,
won't
and
know what Hunter
I'm
deck it
kidding.
is, right?
I'm kidding.
it was Nicholas's Highlander Quest Hunter, which nobody was playing after the wild cards showed up
Mhm.
except for me.
No,
Yeah,
actually,
when
I
did we
brought
put
it. I
that?
brought it 1 week. So,
Stand corrected.
Okay, just 2 people were playing it then.
but I played it
Um,
1 week though. That was it. I didn't
yeah,
play it
yeah.
any other
I mean,
week.
that's impressive to have a great season like that and kind of bring an off meta sort of pick and bring it consistently. I mean, it goes to show you like play what you know. You don't always have to play like the top tier meta decks if you have solid matchups into what you expect, and it's just a deck you're comfortable piloting. That it often comes down to that.
That's how I feel with Rogue. Like Rogue was in a good spot this meta, but like I feel like it doesn't matter what meta it is. I'll probably end up bringing Rogue somehow.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not surprising coming
Uh,
from you. But any other thoughts, or should we jump into the next segment here?
Well, I just want to say it was a pleasure playing with Tap last, and helped me, get my first championship. So thanks, guys, for putting in all the hard work all season and covering for me in the last game.
yeah, no problem. It was a
It
fun
was a lot of
season.
fun. I think
It's what teammates do.
my favorite series was the semifinals last matchup against Dano because it was tied 2-2. Winner goes on, loser goes home, and I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that's
just live for the
terrific.
pressure. It was a lot of fun to play that series.
The funny thing was that night, the night before, me and Ice Schools were prepping. We're like, all right, guys, this is fine. We're down 1-2. We prep. We're like, all right, so we bring the good decks, we test the matchups, and then we end up both winning. So that was one of the best feelings like at work feeling you got paid off that series.
Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to speak to sort of your captaining, Tris? I know this was your first season as a captain, and getting that win, with a team like this is pretty impressive.
I think mostly my players were really good being self-sufficient. I didn't really have to like tell anyone to do anything. I just like got reminders in to everyone who were playing the week, and I honestly think that makes it a lot easier when you just get along with your guys. Everyone's like mature enough to end up doing what they need to do
Hmm.
and performed it night in night out.
I appreciate that every time I came up with an idea of what to bring or what deck to use, Tris was always like, I like it. You should do it. It was always encouraging. It was great.
Always encouraging.
Yeah, like there's no reason. Like if I just like told him the matchups and what it could have been, like if there was no reason to bring it or if there was a good reason to bring it. And then most of the time I agreed with him because Ice Schools is a good player. I like his ideas.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Sharma, what's our next segment? Can we jump to the prediction stuff, or do you want to go to the card stuff? I don't know what order you put things in,
I
but
could do
maybe
it
we
in
should.
any order you want, baby.
All right, let's do the predictions then. I think
Okay.
just because let's talk about last season, then we can move on to talking about the next season.
Okay. All right. Let me get that up.
Mhm.
All right.
All
Here's a
right,
little
so
spreadsheet.
while he's getting this
It's
up
up.
right now. Okay, perfect. I'll just explain sort of how we did this. So every week, what I did is I recorded all of our predictions. So every week we went down, whoever was on the show that week, and made a prediction for each available, seed, and then predicted the total match score and the winner. So um, the way I did it was I gave 1 point for each correct guess. So if you guess, all 5 seeds right, and the match score and the winner, the winner point wise, then you get 7 points is available for that week for each match of the week. So for the first several weeks, we had about 5 matches we discussed every week. We had 2 from each conference, and then the cross conference, so that was 5. So it was a total of 35 points available unless some matches were played. Then I removed that available point because you didn't predict anything that was already done. So that's sort of how we compiled that's the available column. There is how many weeks they were on. So Desharmo missed 1 week, so he has a lower available points. Just that's 1 week he missed. Turd, who's not here today, unfortunately, he missed 5 weeks, so his total is less. And then Mako, you missed 6 weeks on the show, so your total available was also less. And then the weird one is the guest. The guest actually, technically, we've had a guest every show, but our hat was on 1 week and wasn't available for the whole time. So he jumped off before we got to the full predictions. He did predict the winners, but he didn't actually predict every other part of it. So I just didn't include that week. So yeah, this is the results. The number correct, you got predictions, and then the cumulative percentage. So actually, Desharma, congratulations, you were the best at predicting this season.
Just
It's
above
good-
50%.
Yep.
It's clearly predicted Tap Loss to go 5 over every week.
Yeah, that's
Every week,
exactly
yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
what it was. And then the guest actually carried, I will mention in a little bit, but it definitely carried by one person a little bit, but also getting a really good percentage, and then followed by me, and then Turd, and then Mako. I will say that when you have fewer points available, you have one bad week, it definitely shows. So
Don't look at my win percentage.
so his percentage not great, but I mean it's not bad. I mean overall, like I think the early episodes we were worse at predicting, but once the season started playing out, you saw who was having a good season, who wasn't, and you could sort of predict a lot of them a little bit better. I also didn't include, there were a couple times where some people predicted, myself included, that let's say the 1 and 3 seed are really close. They predicted that one would go to one team and one would go to the other, but they didn't make predictions on those specifically. So like, let's say it was Dad Legend versus Tap Last or whatever. So someone guessed Dad Legend or Tap Last win the first seed, and the third seed goes to the other one, but they didn't make specific predictions. I gave 0 points for that because that's technically, you didn't actually guess something specific and get it right. Even if it resulted in 1-1, like the prediction was, I didn't give any points. I considered giving 1 point for that, but I decided against it in the end, just because I thought that was too confusing. And then I also recorded the total failure predictions. So actually, there weren't that many where you got every single one wrong, but there were a couple. Turd had one match he completely guessed wrong. The guests had one that they completely guessed wrong. I forget which one it was. I should have written it down. I can look back, but let me see if I can find it. I think it was later on, but and then yeah, and then I also recorded. I said everyone that missed one, right? Turd, Mako, and the guests, right? Total, yeah. So then I also recorded how many perfect predictions were made. So you got all 7 points available. I didn't count any time that some matches were already played. So if you had like 3 results already, it's a lot easier to get the rest of them because you only have to predict 4 things, and the winner might already be determined when you have 3 wins already. So that's like essentially you only have to guess 3 things. So I only counted the ones where you didn't have any matches played and you got every single one right. So that happened for me twice. So I had weeks where I had a really, really high score, and then weeks where it was meh, and that's how Desharmo sort of edged me out in the end. He was a little bit more consistent, but I had really hot weeks and cold weeks. So I got 2 perfect ones, and then the guests actually got 2 perfect ones as well. No one else got any perfect ones, but I will mention the only guest to get perfect ones was Dano, and he got 2 in the same week. It was only a guest 1 week. He got 2 perfect predictions that week, and had like a crazy point total there of 22 out of 27 available points that week.
Jeez.
So like, I mean, he carried a little bit
Yeah.
for the guests there to edge me out as well. But I'm impressed with our overall guesses. Getting approximately 50% right collectively throughout the season. So I mean, that just goes to show that like this is a competitive sort of format, and there's people that are you can never predict everything accurately because things always go different ways, and even favorites lose, and we still managed to get 50%, but there were a lot of times that we were completely wrong. And one of those things that we kind of can look back on is maybe a Noyo team. I think a lot of us didn't see them kind of making it as far as they did, and even later in the season when they were doing well, until like very late in the season, it was still kind of the underdogs, and they showed us a little bit. I think actually Desharmo, you voted for them a couple times. I think that gave you some of the points you needed there to get this as well. So I really enjoyed doing this. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I hope you guys like kind of me doing kind of the stats and looking at how accurate we are. And I'll probably do a blog post with all the collective data. This is only like a sample of what I collected. But yeah, any thoughts, guys? I know I was talking for a good like 10 minutes there.
I'm gonna blame some of my losses on me going by red being my favorite color, and my decisions on how many mages they had. Now I'll
Okay.
say it didn't lead me to the highest win rate, but I didn't have any completely lost weeks. So
No, well, you had 0 points for a match.
I didn't think you said my name. I thought you just
No,
said turd and a guess.
you turd and
Oh,
guest had
well, shit, never
one
mind.
complete zeros. Sorry. I can go back. I can tell you it was week
Nope.
6.
No, it's all
He's not
good. I
interested.
believe you.
It was week 6 roundtable versus pod people. You guessed pod would win, and then you guessed every single seed wrong.
Alrighty.
I mean, that's an achievement in itself. Oh, another thing I will mention, I didn't give allow points for DQ. So if there was a DQ or a match didn't get played, I just eliminated that one from the available points. So the predictions didn't matter there because I felt like, if like in one case, there was a DQ, so it went to the team, like one team, but the game match wasn't played, so I didn't really count that as like, you can't predict that kind of stuff. Oh, the guest that got a 0 was Snake, actually. That was a week that we had 2 guests. He managed. Actually, it's the same week that Turd got his 0. Different matches, though. That was during the cross-conference week. Snake 100% predicted wrong the Anoyo team versus Prep. He predicted Prep would win and then managed to predict every other seed wrong. And Anoyo won that week. And then Turd, for his 0, he guessed Bejas would win. This one was weird though. So he guessed this was the Hearthstone and Chill versus Bejas in the cross conference. He guessed the Bejas would win, and then guessed every seed wrong, and it was a tie in the end point wise. So no one got points for winner that one. But I did still count if you got if you predicted. So it went 3-2. Bejas, I believe, won 3 out of. Oh no, Hearthstone and Chill won 3 out of 2 of the matches, but didn't get enough points because the Bejas was like a bunch of 2-3s or something. I forget exactly the numbers, but
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that one anymore. We can talk about something
okay.
else.
But anyway, there was a complete tie of the week. I remember that was a highlight for me of the cross conference, but yeah, so that was his completely wrong prediction there.
I want to point out that the red conference lost the overall tally of match v match, but 3 out of the 4 final teams were red conference teams. That's kind of funny how that worked out.
Yeah, I think it was a discussion we had during the season that the cross conference during the weeks were kind of a little bit random. You weren't playing against like opponents of equal caliber, so a lot of them were matched kind of weirdly during the season. So I mean, I think it was still an awesome thing that we did, but maybe not super accurate for the power level of teams or conferences, I would say. Also, we during the cross conference week we actually tied it up, which is crazy because I think the red conference won enough to tie up the total. And then there was also that tie, which was like, okay, so we both had like 7 and 7 or something of total cross conference matches played. And then the tie. So it was like a total perfect perfect thing, which I thought was very cool,
It was balanced as all things should be.
as all things
Yeah.
should be.
And I actually like the cross conference finals play. I really think
Mhm.
that's really good. It gets the two best teams because if it was done the way that we would have done before, it would have been one of us, me or you, versus the Wet Boys, and then that would have been the final match
Yeah.
probably. So
I
this
think that
way,
still would have been a good match, but I think Dad Legends
yeah,
was like the ultimate finals. I think I appreciate that more than White Boys.
but I'm
Oh,
Yeah,
saying,
I mean,
yeah,
being able to play you guys again as the one team that beat you during the season is like also like I think there's some hype there as well. So that was pretty cool that it didn't have to be one from each conference. I think that definitely I did enjoy that aspect, and it kind of just ended up being the better teams seeded like just move
yeah.
on, right?
White Boys was scary though. Like I was
Yeah,
scared to play them. Like when I played them like the cross conference week, I was like, huh, this is a team we can lose to, but we
yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
So
absolutely. No, they were definitely a powerful team. We were scared of them as well when we played them in the semis, I believe.
the one thing I will say is I like the cross conference a lot, but I think the cross conference week, I think it can like I guess there's no way to arrange it perfectly because you don't know what each team's power
Hmm.
level is like before the season. But I think it was still a good idea. I liked it. Like it was kind of unfortunate because like we ended up rolling Vandergriff Esports, which was like the last team, I think,
Yeah,
in that conference. So it was just kind of unfortunate. That's the way the cross conference worked, but it does happen sometimes.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was definitely a cool concept, and we'll see what ended up happening next season. I think we have Maka. We have like more teams, right? I don't know. What are those numbers now?
So
Like, are we even?
I've actually been updating our spreadsheets while I've been doing this with the teams I've gotten so far.
Hmm.
This is just copy and paste, requires zero brain power. And we're even on all of them. Let me find that. We have 18 legacy. So we're up on legacy this season by 4 teams. And then we have 10 hero, which is
Hmm.
very interesting. We're down 4 in hero, and I think mine and a few other people's theories is that with HCT no longer being a thing, so Hero's not even supported by Blizzard anymore.
Yeah.
It's the interest has just faded away, which makes sense, especially since Pro's been gathering a lot of traction. If people want to play in Pro and they want to play in groups with their friends, it's like, okay, I don't want to play 3 series, so I got to pick. So Heroes kind of got down a little bit, and then Pro went up to 12 this season. So Pro was at 8, I think. Yeah, it was at 8 last season. And so it went up 4. So Legacy and Pro went up 4, and then Hero went down 4. So Pro is actually larger than Hero this season.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
impressive. But yeah, so they are so 18 teams means that each conference would have um
9.
9. So I think that means that if we do it the same way, it'll also have a cross conference again. If we do like 10 weeks of regular season, or if you do 8 weeks, maybe you don't play one team. I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
I guess for you guys to
I mean,
discuss.
yeah, it's something that we'll probably bring to the forefront of the community.
Hmm.
I'm speaking off of just hypotheticals. I don't know what we're planning on doing right now, but it could be something we bring up to everybody for a
Yeah.
vote. I don't know what's going on. We could just say let's run it back. I don't know
Hmm.
what's gonna happen, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it is uneven in conferences. Um, and I mean, Heroes uneven in conferences too.
Right. Yeah, I was just about to
And
bring that up at 10. Then you
yeah,
also
so
5 and 5.
we could do cross conference. I mean, we'll probably have to do something like that, right?
Yeah, or like a
Because you don't
round
want to.
robin kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Be
I think
interesting.
with Hero, that's much more plausible than obviously
Right.
with
Yeah,
Legacy.
Legacy 18 you
With
can't do that. But
18
with
round
10,
robin.
maybe.
But yeah, so that it's up there. I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about it and figure it out. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, just
Pro
interesting to
made
look
life
at.
easy, with 6 and 6.
Yeah, 6 and 6 well, Pro doesn't even have conferences normally. Are we going to do conferences this season
That's a
because of
great
that?
question. That's a
Yeah,
great question. Pro's grown in size. Do we bring up conferences? If so, what colors are they gonna be? This is new
interesting.
territory, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Also, something I know this isn't about the show, but to discuss is like, did you ever consider limiting pro? Like, is part of it, um, the allure that there are fewer teams, or you just want growth and it doesn't matter where that goes?
I feel like right now we just kind of want growth,
Yeah.
you know, especially like with the teams going down a little bit just in general. I mean, I know 18's like up 4. This has nothing to do with Tavern talk.
It's fine. We're just talking the previous
With
season and looking
with
forward.
teams going up 4, that's still less than how it's been in the past. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure at one point in time we had 20 in Legacy and 20 in Hero, if I remember correctly. Unless I'm just remembering incorrectly,
I
but I
mean,
thought we
I don't
had
know.
20 one time
Could
in
be.
No,
Legacy.
there was a lot at one point.
Yeah, so I mean, it is down overall. So I feel like limiting growth of a series is
Sure.
the wrong call, and it would just be bad overall for us. Because especially if someone's like, I don't want to play LHS, and you've limited pro,
Hmm.
and then at what point do you like? How would you limit pro too? Because it's like, do you make it first come first serve? That's unfair to teams that were like recruiting during the
That's
season
true.
when they shouldn't be. And like you can't just go off of, oh, this team has a average like a higher average in PR because pro doesn't run PR. So yeah, I think limiting would just be a lose lose situation for
Yeah.
everybody.
No, absolutely. Um, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so we did a little bit of discussion there, but
I will say some of these legacy rosters that I've been inputting are very spicy, including my own.
all
These
right.
are some good rosters.
All right, a little bit of hype for the next season.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. Mine is
A
pretty damn
returning
good.
player. I have a returning hype player as my 5 seed.
A returning hype player.
Hype player.
I mean,
Oh.
I mean, I don't have to captain the season, so pretty hyped for my team just because don't do that.
So one and done for Tris. He's had enough captaining. I can respect that. I think it's definitely a difficult job, and I appreciate everyone that does that. Um, but yeah, let's see. So we talked about that. Let's do a quick commercial break. Who wants to take it away?
Mako.
I don't have it pulled up.
Of course
Should
not.
expect this. I'm sorry.
Of course not.
I
Yo,
knew.
there was 1 week. There was 1 week I picked someone else because I was like, "You're not gonna have it open." And you're like, "I have it open this time. Let me do it."
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Let me give you my excuse. It's a valid excuse. We're not discussing like teams and stuff, so I don't have to have it pulled open.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been inputting rosters while we're just talking because we're just talking.
Yeah, this
They
is
necessarily-
very saloon style casual.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Do you have it open now?
No, I think you wanted me to.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. All right. We already got 2 subs today, so I really appreciate that. But please consider subscribing if you haven't. It helps us cover the various costs of operating the website and all that other stuff, and bring you content. So yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, or you have 5 spare bucks, please consider subbing for the channel. It really, really does help us. You get that THL emoticon, which you can see, and the chat badge. Let me post. You can see that little subscriber badge, and you get this guy. I don't know. Is this Jack Socks? I don't know what this is exactly, but it's wonderful. Look at that. A little shush emote for you guys in the chat. Shush, we're talking. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And then if you just want to like hang out, hit that heart button, keep the notifications on, know when we're going live. We have a bunch of shows if you're new here, and I think some more shows coming next season, so look forward to that. And then special notes to our viewers. We have a ton of social media stuff as well. We have on the website, obviously teamhearthlegends.com. You can find out about all the series, and we have a blog there as well. That's been a little bit slow recently, but I hope that picks up again come the start of the next season. And then we have Twitter at THL_HS, and our Discord you can find is Team Hearth Legends if you want to join. We've had I think a good amount of people joining recently, so definitely check it out. Yeah, that's our little commercial. Do we want to jump to talking about the new expansion a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So we had all the everybody here pick one favorite card. So I think we'll go right into yours if you want to talk about your favorite card of this next expansion.
Me?
Yes.
Me first.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, I couldn't pick a card yet exactly that I think is the super most powerful card. I haven't taken as much of a look into the expansion as I need to, and will in the next couple days to prepare for the 10th. But I picked this card, Shuma, uh, solely because it looks like a Sarlacc pit, and that's pretty dope.
Oh,
And I've been watching
yeah.
The Mandalorian, and I'm all hype about Boba Fett and Mandalorians in general. And this thing, spoilers if you haven't watched the old Star Wars, which are awesome, and you should definitely watch it. But this guy eats up Boba Fett, one of the favorite iconic characters. He didn't
Yeah.
really do much in those movies, but he looked cool,
Yeah. Well,
and he
Style over substance.
well, I know a little bit about that too. George Lucas said that he wanted to kill Boba Fett. He didn't want him to survive, but in the
Mhm.
books after the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah, he
apparently
crawls out,
he
right?
crawls out. Yeah, and
Mhm.
so Luke, not, what's his name? George Lucas was pretty upset about that because he just wanted him to die. He didn't want him to have become a new
You
character.
know
That's what,
what?
yeah,
Well,
because a cult. He was a cult following
mhm.
after that. So and now
Yeah,
there's a TV show kind of based
now there's
around a
the
character.
Mandalorian. Well, based around his
Yeah,
religion,
yeah, his
his
culture,
his
his race.
his culture. Yeah, yeah. So definitely a cool show. But yeah, it's I just that's why I picked this. I don't know how powerful this is gonna be. It seems kind of meh, but maybe some sort of board floody decks will like this.
Hey, I saw oh, what was I watching? I think it was on the Trump YouTube video I watched
Hmm.
last night. I think that's what it was on, and he was playing against a Blizzard employee who was playing a like flood style druid deck,
Yeah,
and he had it in his deck. I mean, he
yeah.
lost. The Trump beat him. Wait, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what it was watching. But yeah, I saw someone actually play it, so it kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool design. I think it definitely those tokeny decks this could use this. I mean it's 7 mana. If you have no board, it's like I guess 7/7, right? You make or no 7/7 uh
13.
4/13, yeah. So 7/13, and it's like a bunch of 1/1s on the board for things like Bloodlust and Savage Roar and whatever.
It's a
And then if
gift
they
that keeps
can't
on
kill
giving.
this, yeah, if they can't kill this, the next turn you get another board. It is kind of awkward that it's the end of your turn, but it is a repeating effect, so that's kind of cool about it. Um, Volka, you're in the call. You can say these things. You don't have to type it. Or you don't want to step on my toes here.
That's not the kind of thing you want to say out loud.
Okay.
Someone building.
That feels bad. I know they did remove a lot of stuff from canon, but now we
It's
have
still canon in our hearts.
it's still canon in our hearts. We still have Baby Yoda, and I will say a lot of George Lucas not liking him coming back. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't know, man. Like great concept. Started out the whole thing, but you know afterwards he kind of lost it when he had no one telling him this is too much or too far. Uh, anyway, we're not talking about Star Wars here. We're talking about Hearthstone. So yeah, this is the card I picked, and that's it. What do you guys think?
I think it's like a better Nixia in most situations, which Nixia's not a bad card. I think it's just a bit better though. So I think you'll probably see Fringe play.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I think this goes well in Token Druid. Um, I think it's really interesting. You think about it. You play this on an empty board, and you can remove this, but if you remove this, then you have to remove all the little guys too. So like you can't just remove this with a Flame Strike or a Blizzard or something. It's
Mhm.
just gonna keep giving you
Yep.
things. So this is actually pretty difficult to remove. Plus all the 1/1s. So
Yeah.
if you're
Excellent.
able to combo the 1/1s into a win condition, actually this might actually be decent.
Yeah. I mean, it could potentially spawn multiple boards. Yeah.
I think the real question, Token Druid, is do you play this over Forest Aid?
I think you might just play both.
Right.
Yeah, you probably. I don't know. That's when you get to like three cards cost 7 or more, though, and that gets a bit clunky at times. I've known with like
Mhm.
token druid players, even some of them just run one force
Yeah.
aid.
Well, I mean, like one forced aid and one of these, like you play this on 7, and then you play forced aid on 8. Like this is a curves into forced aid.
Mine like a ask Papa Jason, since Papa Jason's kind of go token druid, just
Yeah,
a little
definitely
bit.
was one of his favorites for a while. So maybe I'll talk to him once the expansion hits, what he thinks. Yeah, let's jump on to next favorite card, whoever
That's
you want to pick.
Volkai. He picked Flick Sky Shiv.
Fuck strikes give.
Flick Sky Shiv. All right, Volkai, let's hear it. Give us your pitch.
Rip.
The Vulcan like just like go.
This always happens, doesn't it? Like,
This would be funny if he was talking the whole time. It's like, what do you guys mean I'm not talking?
I know, right?
Flick
Uh,
Skyship just destroyed Volkai
I
and all
I
copies
guess
of him everywhere.
I guess we'll
Yeah,
go
all copies of Volkai.
we'll go to we'll go to
Oh wait, he said 1 sec. What's happening?
Yeah, he was talking.
He was
Uh,
talking. Oh boy. Okay.
boy.
somebody left the
The
thing. Oh,
Discord.
there we go.
He's
phone.
he.
All right.
It's okay. We're hopping around. We're back.
All right, Volkai. Can he speak? Zero questions.
Oh, he was talking. Yeah, dude, I think your mic was all messed up when we first started, so I wonder if it decided to, poop the bed.
All right. Well, why don't you type in chat for now what your reasoning is here, and
Well,
and
I'll move
we'll
on
read it out.
to Isaac Lee's card, and then we can come back if he fixes it.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
So Isaac Lee's cards is Bad Luck Albatross, and
Yeah, it's unfortunate to follow up the Flick Skyship because that card directly counters what I could do with my Bad Luck Albatross. Because you just kill your own 1/1 Albatross and then clear your deck of it. But I mean, this card is obviously kind of memey. It probably isn't going to be widely used, but there's a couple different decks that could potentially run some shenanigans. You've got Priest with all of its ways of copying cards and copying death rattles and Psycho Pump, Reborn, all that good stuff to end up just flooding your opponent's deck with the albatrosses. I think it's also true for Rogue in some cases, being able to duplicate death rattles, the new card that copies a death rattle in your deck, things like that. You can kind of build around a little bit. I don't know if Rogue necessarily has the staying power to make that work, but it at least has some death rattle synergy. And then possibly Hunter, just because it's also a beast. So you could run some of the Hunter Death Rattle synergy cards. Obviously, some of them synergize just with mechs, but some of them are just generic Death Rattles, like your Death Rattles copy twice. And then you also have the beast synergy for this. So you have some ways of copying beasts in your hand and playing cheaper beasts and Dire Frenzy and things like that. So some interesting potential applications for this card to maybe see some fringe meme play. But I think it's cool to have alternate win conditions, and this to me feels like something that has potential to at least be annoying if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna really see any play. I think it's a decent body, but I think
Mhm.
like if this becomes standard in the meta, then I think people are just gonna hard mulligan for Zephyrs and just play it on 2. That way you can't do anything about it. And I don't know. I don't think this is really that good of a
No,
counter.
yeah, I agree. It's not. I wouldn't call this good because there's definitely, if I was wrong and it was good, there's a couple ways of countering it just with some tech cards that was printed
I'm
in the set too.
I'm trying to
So
think here. Like, oftentimes what ends up happening with these cards is we think it's like they put it in there for one reason, but it's really in there for another reason. So I wonder if something else will come with this card, like maybe like a res piece will keep resin this and then just fill your decks with 1/1s, and then you
yeah,
just can't do anything. Like I
that's
don't
what I
know.
want to do.
I don't I don't
Exactly.
I don't know if that's what's going on, but I'm just thinking of things like that.
Something like this card, like to me, it's very similar with like the darkness kind of, where it would shuffle 3 candle into your opponent's deck.
Mhm.
But I think the darkness came at a time when like Raza Priest and things like that was very like prevalent. I think three is like a lot better than 2 when it becomes to, like trying to disrupt Zephyrus and like Highlander decks, because when you just draw one of the albatrosses, you can play your Zephyr. It's gonna be
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But like
Right.
with 3, you got to get 2 more than just 1. And so I think this card will probably see like fringe play. So that's my thoughts.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe people are going to be pissed at the new Alex Straza and just wants to negate that if they can, as soon as possible. And if you're able to shuffle multiple albatrosses in, maybe you can, an aggro deck maybe runs this. It's not terribly statted at 3/4/3, and if you're able to get a couple of them down, get the 4 albatrosses in the deck, then they can't do that broken like 9 mana Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, like play an 8/8 and 2 other dragons that have powerful effects probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can see that.
This card's
I don't-
also just like fine with Dire Frenzy, right?
Mhm.
Drawing off like Zul'jin. If you want to play mid-range hunter, it's just like another 3-drop.
Mhm.
Also, I don't know. I think it'll probably see more play than we're thinking of. I think it'll probably be like a 2 or a 3, like on a scale. If we had to rate it, for me at least.
Cool. All right. Let's jump to the next
Volkai
next card.
fixed. You've Mike fixed Volkai.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
there
There
we
we
go.
go.
All right.
So let's
Well,
go
back-
back to
Let's
your.
hear your
Then
picks.
there we are.
Well, let me redo this.
Hooray.
All right, let's go back to your card.
And
Flick.
yes, I had been talking about Fett, and you guys didn't hear me.
Oh,
So
rip.
that's why I typed Fett.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Okay,
good now.
so yes, so Flick is bringing one of my favorite mean effects from Magic the Gathering to Hearthstone. Lobotomizing a card. It's just gone.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Not just goodbye, good riddance,
Yes.
and never saying hello to it.
Yeah. This
That
is
sounds like that sounds like a sad like album.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Good riddance.
Oh my god. This is like goodbye Shrivala. Like, all right, get out of here.
No,
You want
God,
a
now you
Sathavar?
no.
You want a
This is-
Sathavar your Shrivala? Ah, that's okay. I'll just do this instead.
Flick is the guy who says, "Oh, okay, I see you just put 20 copies of Pogo Hopper in your deck. Bye."
Yeah.
But just make sure that you're not playing Pogo Hopper too, because then you.
Yeah. That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
that it destroys
is the
all of
thing to
them,
keep in
right?
mind. Yep.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
unless it works in a way other than what we were expecting based on the card text, yeah, it's going to kill all of yours as well.
I wonder if you play the spirit of the whatever it's called, the rogue one, and then you play this, it destroys everybody's cards everywhere. It destroys it-
Everywhere. Double
destroys
battle
it.
cry.
Yes.
Wherever they
I'm
are.
just kidding.
in
I'm sure it does
any
nothing.
I would love to see that. That would be the Hearthstone version of Unglued, where Flick just goes, "Oh, Flick just targeted Pogo Hopper. Now every player's Pogo Hoppers in the entire tournament is gone for
my
every
God.
game."
No, what it does with the double battle cry is you kill the minion, then you disenchant it from their library.
Bro, we needed
Yes.
that one. We needed that when Rexar was a thing, bro. I did not want
Dude,
to
that's
put
but you're gonna hate me because that's my favorite card. When I was guest on last season, they asked me what my favorite card was. Deathstalker Rexar is still my favorite card.
Hmm.
uh,
All right. Let's jump to the next one. Whose are we?
I just stopped. It'll be me next. The rolling. If I can fix it. There we go. Rolling fireball. This is the next card.
Rolling Fireball. Okay, give us your elevator pitch why you like this.
I like this card because it's kind of like a new mechanic that was added to the game. It's really no other mechanic where your access goes to a minion to the left or to the right. I really like this because this increases sort of the complexity of the game and the way you can remove things. You could think of like, oh, how could I remove this minion or set myself up to do remove everything the next turn. This is like very flexible. You know, you can remove one big minion, or you can remove a board of tokens of one one health minions on the board. There's so many things you can do with this, and it's really
Yeah.
flexible. And I think it's going to be a staple in Highlander Mage deck if it's still a thing, or even like big spell mages are going to play this. And it's going to be you're going
Yeah.
to get it off discovers as well because
Mhm.
Mage loves discovering, and this is probably going to be nerve wracking when it gets
I'm
discovered.
I'm curious if the left or right is random or do you choose?
You choose, I think.
Mm,
Or no,
I
you
think it's
probably just like play
random.
it right.
I
I
feel
think
like
Yeah.
it's random. I wonder if there's nothing to the left, it always goes right,
yeah,
right? So like
Yeah.
if you attack them, if you like use this on
Mm-hmm.
the far, right
yeah.
minion, it'll always go
So that's
to the left and vice versa.
I think that's where it comes into handy too. Like players who are playing against mage will have to position their minions so that rolling fireball doesn't wreck them, and they can get
But
the best value out of
Right.
it. Like I'm gonna
I,
put it in the middle. It doesn't matter where you play it. It's still not gonna get full value.
It's kind of like a new meteor from Mage, right?
Mhm.
It's another
yeah.
thing
Yeah,
to
you
think
just
about the
position the
play
Got,
opposite way
around.
against it.
gotta has to make me think more. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, do you want to put two big minions next to each other, and then like it maybe it kind of can't get rid of both of them, and you might roll the wrong way to get rid of something. Like, it's interesting.
Well, it's gonna do all of its damage to one. So if you have two big minions, if its minion let's say has 7 health, it'll
Right.
remove that one.
Right. It'll only have one damage, but maybe you
Yeah.
put like then the two minions next to each other, so it
Yeah.
goes on to your other big minion and not your one health minion
Yeah.
that's to the other
Exactly.
side. Like there you got that 50-50 potential there as well.
This is like the opposite of crushing walls. Like crushing walls, you don't want to put big minions on the outside. This one, you want to put big minions on the inside. Like you don't want it to kill your minions on the outside. You want them to maybe try to uh, high
Get
roll
like a
you.
roll. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to get a 50-50 in the middle or something. So I
Mhm.
really like this card. It adds just that new complexity to the game.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I do think it does continue. From what I understand, it probably like until the damage is run out, it does continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or targets, obviously. Yeah. Cool. Let's. Who's haven't we seen?
We're gonna do Triss next, which is Blood Cell Flybooter.
Yeah.
All right.
All
I
right.
mean, I know why you like this card, but let's hear it from you.
I think we should start off saying it's a rogue card, and it's 1 mana. So that's pretty good for rogue.
It's already good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it compares well to Firefly. I think it's generally a bit worse than Firefly in Rogue because I think I'd rather have extra health so I can kill a kid and something dagger on too.
Hmm.
But I think it's still just like better. It's better as a combo activator than Firefly was. So you probably play this in majority of Rogue decks.
Yeah, and
Yeah. You get two of the 1/1s. I'm assuming they have no effect, right? It's just a
Yeah,
one.
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure. It's just,
I mean, and the minions you get are pirates, so it will synergize with like that 3 mana 3/3 that buffs your pirates with +1/+1, right? So
wait, is this when Cannon Barrage can be thing in deck? Play 3 pirates.
yeah,
Cannon Barrage
Yeah.
is on
yeah, isn't
Well,
there?
I don't know, but
it.
No wait, is that a warrior card, or is it the
Cannon
rogue
Barrage
card?
is it's a rogue card. I think it's
it's a
6 mana,
rogue
deal
card.
3 damage for every pirate you
For
have.
Yeah,
every
there you
pirate.
go. That's one.
Yeah, you
Isn't
just
there?
play 6 of these. How much mana is it? The Cannon
Six
Barrage?
mana, but you can prep it out.
6.
You can prep it out and
Prep
put
it out. Yeah, play 6 pirates with this. You just play 2 flybooters and then your 4 pirates. Boom.
that's
That's
a lot of damage.
a lot of damage. It's 3 per.
You get 3 and then you do 3 per pirate, so it'd be 3 then it'd be your
So
board
it's
plus 3.
so 3 times 7 there.
Yeah,
Nice. It's not
but
quite. It's not quite OTK, but
not quite. I think honestly though, I think this card will probably just be. I think mostly Rogue right now since it lost Swashbuckler because it came back from Wild. Like Rogue's just
right.
missing like a 1 drop play besides
Hmm.
Pharaoh Cat. And I think this is exactly what Rogue needed to keep itself like viable in next expansion because
Hmm.
you're really feeling the loss of Swashbuckler in these past meta or in this meta right now.
Hmm.
I think it's also good. You kind of fill out your curve too. Sometimes you have like you do a 2 mana play. You could throw one of these 1/1s down and fill out your curve a little bit, or even combo activators. Especially if you go like, this is really good if you're going first in Rogue. You throw
Yeah.
this down on one, and now you have combo activators for later on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think this improves Rogue's best card in the game, which is Evil Miscreant, and makes it even more better on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
play,
I
which
was
is
just
something
gonna.
Rogue
Yeah.
struggled to do.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is definitely going to be a strong card. We'll see in those tempo rogue decks for sure. Cool. And then I guess we have one more, right?
Mako. His
Hell yeah.
Deathwing Mad Aspect.
Mad Aspect.
Like, how many Deathwings have there been in the game? Is this the
This will
third
be
one or
the
the fourth
third,
one?
right? This is
I-
the third, but now there's also the hero, right? So fourth Deathwing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say one thing about this card.
Please.
Look at the badass artwork on this card. It's all I mean, for one, it's an 8 mana 12/12 that you're gonna drop on the board when they have one minion, and it takes it to like an 8 mana 12/10 or 9 maybe. And the other, it's just going to get evolved into
Bottom right.
in Shaman. So, like,
Yeah,
this,
that
this card,
Mogu mutate.
this card is going
Deathwing.
to take over the game, and I feel it coming. I feel all the rage, all of the rage is gonna happen in our Discord whenever people are like, I hate this game. RNG's so bad. Oh my god, I'm so done with this game. Shaman just evolved to a 12/12 on turn 3, and it's gonna happen. This card is
It's
going
gonna
to
happen at
this
some point.
card
Yeah.
this card Deathwing is going to battle
Tilt someone
cry,
out of the
destroy
game.
all of THL.
I don't know if it's gonna be quite that common, but it certainly is gonna tilt someone very hard
It's
every
gonna
once in a
tilt
while.
someone out. It's gonna tilt someone completely out of the org. I guarantee it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be tied 2-2 for they're gonna be playing the last
Oh
match
my
of the
god.
week, and
You're
it's gonna be
supposed to
for
be
the whole
trying to
thing.
recruit people and get people, and now you're already
I'm supposed to be
predicting
getting people in,
leaving.
but you know what? I can't control the people that are here, man. That's the Sharmo's job.
That's funny.
But like this card is gonna see play, I think, in the warrior deck too. I mean, just slam it down on 8 for 12/12 with
Oh, for
nothing else on the
sure.
board, or like, let's say you have
It's an 8 mana board clear
Yeah,
that leaves a
exactly.
body behind most of the time.
This is like really freaking good, just as not even
Especially
Yeah.
if you're
involved.
playing like against like I don't know like if there's like if Token Druid's a good deck or something or
Oh.
Zoo or something, and like they had like they're playing these little like 1-2 attack minions on board, and they have like 5 of them. You just completely clear their board, and so you completely gain tempo back, and then you have a 12 attack, and I like maybe 4 health, 3 health or something, and if it's a token deck, they probably don't have much board removal, and then you just have this 12 attack minion left on board.
Does this? I think this might make Dragon Control Warrior viable. Just like
Yeah, I
you
will.
can War Master Woundus and get 2 of these.
I mean, I
Dragon
will
War-
say
Bro,
it does attack your minions, right?
Warrior has been preparing for this day for
Forever.
like 3 expansions.
Yeah,
Okay,
Rascal's Rumble, they were preparing for it, and now it's
They-
coming to prevail.
they future-proofed Warrior for this Dragon expansion like expansions ago.
I think Dragon decks are just gonna be insanely good this expansion.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, it's the Descent of Dragons. This is going to be
Yeah.
the Dragon expansion. We're going to see lots of dragons. This is the first year I think they really kind of eventually went on theme, right? This is Year of the
Yeah,
Dragon.
because last year it was Raven, right? And they didn't do much
Raven. They
here.
had like one Raven card. I guess things were like Witchwood and Spooky, and there's stuff like that. I guess that's Raveny, but um, this is like
On par.
okay, you wanted dragons? Here's some dragons with your dragons.
I also like the storyline behind like these past 3 expansions. I think it's
Yeah,
been
they
pretty cool.
connect. Yeah, for sure. I think that's
It's not
very
just like you go from like the witches until like Doctor Grimm's
Right.
coming back. It's not very sudden. It's very progressive.
I'm gonna say I
Uh,
really like these last 2 expansions that Blizzard has released. The one with the quests and this one coming out. I honestly did not like the first expansion of the season.
I really did. I think that was my favorite meta so far.
I
yeah,
absolutely hated Bomb Warrior, and I just it was so triggering.
I think I liked it
So-
as a rogue player because like Shark Rogue and Pre-Nerf Raiding Party Rogue was like some of my favorite decks to play. But I think in general I enjoyed both metas a lot.
But this
Yeah,
last 2 have been really good.
mhm. Yeah, I will say that they have been pretty good about it recently and like updating and nerfing and buffing and trying to keep things fresh, except for the most recent stuff. But up until the wild cards being a little overtuned, coming back and not really listening to the players. Up until that, they've been really consistent. I hope they continue that. From what I heard, they were talking about it, but by the time they came to a decision, it was like
Yeah, too
a
late.
month away or something, and so they couldn't really implement it till like it was 2 weeks away from the new expansion. It's just like, what's the point for 2 weeks? I guess is what they were thinking, but
Yeah.
When you
I
take
thought
yeah,
they,
into account the fact that it takes them 2 weeks to get a patch pushed through.
yeah,
yeah, and I think
yeah, that's what
I
it
think they
seems like. It's something like that.
I thought they did the event a little too early because they did it in October, and the
Hmm.
expansion came out in what, August? So like it started at the beginning of October. There was only a month and a half of the other expansion without these cards. So I thought that they did it way too early. I was still feeling like the
Hmm.
meta was fresh when they dropped these new wild cards
Yeah,
out.
I think
I,
maybe it was a little early. They also had done the like changes to some of the cards to make them more viable, and then reverting some of those
Yeah,
changes during that span of time. So there was a lot of like sort of
changes.
changes and making things fresh, and then this one kind of lasted a lot longer
Yeah.
than any of those other changes.
Yeah,
I
I
thought the timing was fairly good because they put it about halfway between one set coming out and the next set coming out.
Right, but that's not including those changes they did for that
like the
first
nerfs.
half. They did, if they had continued to do changes, nerfs, and buffs and stuff during the second half, I think it would have made sense.
Yeah,
But
it was just
they didn't.
we had like the same meta for like 2 months almost, and that just made
Hmm.
it a bit stale. But like
That
when they released a lot of stuff, we were only like a week and a half or 2 weeks into the like new meta with Pocket Galaxy nerfs and things like that.
Right.
I think
so I
that's I think that sorry to cut you off. I think that's how it's gonna be with the new solo adventure that they're releasing in January this year. We have like a month to play with this expansion, then get a whole new meta dropped on us.
Hmm.
which is fine. Yeah, I agree. The only thing that they stumbled on with this one was not doing anything like a set of nerfs or buffs for that matter.
Yeah.
Probably about 3.5 weeks ago from now. About
Yeah.
a month after they'd added the wild
I
cards.
think the problem was that Evolve was the most busted thing, and that was a wild card, and there's like no
Right.
point. Like if it
Yeah.
was something else, like let's say like it was a different standard card that would be in for the next like year, I think they would have done it. But the problem was that Evolve was what was busted. I guess they could have nerfed like Mogu and things like that, but
Right. Or they could have just removed, that one card from
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it
yeah,
was clear that it was like specifically evolved that was causing people, to leave essentially. And obviously they
Yeah,
came out with battlegrounds and stuff, and people were playing that as well. But you
they
could
should have
see, yeah,
just looked at the results from those first 2 weeks, said, okay, we need to swap out Evolve for something else for Shaman.
right.
Put that in 2 weeks
yeah.
later, that would have been what we got
Well,
3.5 weeks ago now,
I think the core
and
idea,
that would have been fine.
I don't think Evolve was that busted when it wasn't with Hair. So they could have rotated Hair off for a set also, and then have it come back
Mhm.
like the set after, like when Evolve was gonna be gone. I think that would have been a cool idea. 'Cause I think that's something Blizzard should experiment with is like rotating like classic cards or just like cards in and out for
Right.
if there's like a combination that's broken.
Yeah.
I would like to see Conceal come back, but I wouldn't like to see it with gadgets and still in standard basically. So things
Yeah.
like that.
That's fair. That's definitely an interesting thought. Anyway, we've gotten a little bit off track. The last thing we want to do, I don't know if we still want to do that, but um, do we want to talk about deck archetypes for a little bit, like things that you guys, I don't know how much you guys have looked into the new expansion. I still have a lot to do, but I think Desharma had some ideas, and uh, maybe some things to look out for come next week when the expansion drops.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it if you want. We've been talking a little bit for a while now, so.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has some, we can discuss for a little bit and then end things off here. If also if you have any questions again for Tap Blast or us, please type them in the chat. We can answer them at any time.
Well, I was thinking of a really cool Pirate Warrior deck. I know they showed it on stream. I actually didn't see the stream, so so I kind of thought of this on my own by looking at it. There's a lot of things in there I think that'll make Pirate Warrior viable again, but not
Hmm.
quite as broken as it was before. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so like I think I'm theory crafting something with the Galakron and the invoking and having damage or 3 damage hero power that you can have that will
Hmm.
replace your worthless armor when you're an aggro warrior. So I don't know.
Hmm.
And plus that if you can invoke it 4 times, you're gonna draw 4 cards, which are probably gonna be like pirates or fast cards like charge minions, like the Korkron Elite, and you're gonna be doing a lot of damage. Can you imagine a +4/+4 4 mana what is it? 8/7 charge to the face. Like that's ridiculous. Draw 4, give them all 4+4 is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Plus
No,
you have
definitely,
5/2 weapon.
Mhm.
So and then plus you get to do 3 damage hero power. So I'm really thinking like of a good aggro Pirate Warrior deck that I'm gonna start building. It's probably one of my first ones.
Yeah, I mean, what you're describing
Time-
sounds like it drifts into the mid range. That gives the Pirate Warrior a little more staying power.
Yep.
Mhm.
If you
Also,
don't win,
every time
you can still win. Sorry, go ahead.
you're invoking, you're getting to attack possibly for
Mhm.
face for at least 3.
Yeah.
Yep. The only bad side I've noticed is the warrior has 2 invoke cards. One will fit into the deck. It's the 1/2 weapon that's Battlecry, gain 2 weapon to gain 2 for this turn, I think, or whatever it is. Or no, it's invoke, which gives you +3, so it's a 4/2
It's a
weapon.
4/2 the first
Yeah.
first time.
And then it's a 1/2 unless you invoke again.
Right.
And that's okay, but then the neutral ones are really bad. There's like one like that's a taunt, 4/5 taunt, and then there's one that's a 2/2 rush. So my problem with the invoking is you're gonna have to
Yeah.
put some of those bad invoke cards into your deck to make it viable. Oh, and then the warrior one is deal 1 damage to everybody, invoke. And I don't know if you're gonna want to put that in a minion-based deck where you're gonna do damage to your own minions. I don't know. You might be able to
Yeah.
do that because you can use the damage to draw cards or you know
Mhm.
Bloodsworn
copy one.
Mercenary. And
So you might want
I
to
think-
run it
I
that way.
think
Warrior's
it
already
definitely-
using that effect, so I don't see why not.
Yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
it does fit. I don't know. I just those invoke cards just seem a little weak to me.
I think Invoke's definitely being like at a premium. If it has Evoke on it, it's probably gonna be like a pretty lackluster card without the Invoke mechanic on it. That's what I've seen throughout the set so far. Which makes sense because you don't
Yeah.
want to have like just super strong base cards and then give it like a super powerful effect with it.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think it definitely you could probably see the awaken in the deck as well. I mean, there's a lot of like even current aggro warrior iterations have a lot of like things they want to deal damage to. You know, you can copy things that have damage dealt to them. You have things that have enrage and plus, whatever attack. So you can still use those things and pirates and kind of do some combo of things there. It is going to be I think that's going to be one of the harder ones to get a full invoke on.
yeah,
Because some of the other ones have like double, like if you do this invoke twice, which they don't have in the warrior. So it's going to take a little bit longer. And I think they probably balance that on purpose, just because invoke twice is +6 damage, and if you're just going aggro, that's like crazy early game kind of tools, and even removal tools if you're playing something a little bit more mid rangey.
And also, I think that I like what Blizzard's doing with the control classes. It was kind of a meme a long time ago. Warrior was always control, Hunter was always aggro, and now you're seeing control Hunter decks and aggro Warrior decks. It's just I like what they're doing with it.
yeah. So, do you guys want to know my new deck archetype that I can't wait to play?
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah.
Everyone's
rogue?
everyone's favorite class, Shaman.
Oh yeah, Shaman's still I mean 2/1 rushes every time you invoke. I think there's definitely some potential there.
Pyroblast for 7 mana
Yeah.
or 8 mana or whatever.
So I think Surging Tempest looks scary. I think it's obviously not as good as Tunnel Trog, but
Right.
it's still really good. Like
Mhm.
I think a 1/3 that can go into a 2/3 that value trades most things is really insane. And then they have 5 mana deal 5. Like I don't know, Overload Shaman with like Doom Hammers and Lava Bursts that already exist is just gonna get power creeped a lot this next expansion.
I think I'm just gonna
And then
steal your weapon though.
yeah, I think that card's I don't think that card's very good in my opinion. So, but I think the card's
Gonna
cool.
steal your whip.
Well, with Galakron there and that weapon, I think it'd be worth to run a one of actually early on at least until the meta settles.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, I think if they play Galakrond, you're already pretty far behind. That taking their 5/2 weapon
Yeah.
isn't as powerful as some things you might want to do to maybe come back. And hopefully you've gotten ahead because they're doing invoke things which are
So,
hopefully a little bit slower. We'll see how they actually play out. I mean, the Shaman one, summon a 2/1 every time you invoke is pretty good, along with the effects of the invoke stuff. And
Are we
Mhm.
was it brought up with the Pirate Warrior for the new the new pirate that was announced? I think it was it just a warrior card or is it a neutral? The one that brings a destroyed weapon back into your play.
Oh, that's really good too.
They played it during that reveal stream, because they were playing Pirate
Oh, yeah.
Warrior with Ankar, and then they destroyed their own Ankar by swinging 3 times, and he played that card, and it just brought Ankar back into his slot.
It's a
He
draw
just kept
engine too.
drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
it's
pretty
grew a
cool.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Galakron is not really necessary in that deck.
I don't think
Yeah.
it is.
You just probably
I think
just
Galakron's going to be used more for like a like a mid-rangey dragon kind of deck.
Yeah, I could see that it also has that Scion of Ruin, right? So it's like, that's power. That's a dragon itself, and it's like a really really power. If you have invoked twice, it's just like a better mummy, right? It's like a 3-mana 3/2 rush that if you invoke twice summons 2 copies. Obviously, you can't play this early most of the time, but that's like crazy if you could get that online for like a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
Anybody
Cool.
else have any archetypes they want to?
Yeah.
mention?
Anyone else? Yeah.
I'm excited to bring back Cyclone Mage. I think the elemental stuff that they're getting, the cheap spell, the cheap minion that gives you a cheap spell, the ability to draw 3 spells from your deck, and all that's just really good for just blowing through your
Yeah,
deck
we like
quickly,
Cyclone
casting a
Mage.
ton of spells.
We like
And
Cyclone Mage.
it's one of my favorite archetypes, so I'm happy to see synergy for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you guys feel about like Control Warlock? And do you guys think it'll be a thing?
Nope.
You guys don't believe in you guys don't believe in the Control Warlock stuff?
There's 7 mana, 4/4 draw 4 cards, and
Increase
increase your
size.
hand size is really cool.
Yeah,
So
that is a very cool.
that's just
I want to
powerful
play
card.
Handlock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kray's Netherwing looks insane. Like we thought Dustbreaker was a really good card. This is that plus 2/2 for 1 more mana. Except it deals face damage, but it's just Hellfire with
sometimes
a body
okay.
for 1 more mana.
Yeah.
Like you're super happy about that. Like that card looks nuts.
Cool. Any other thoughts, or should we just finish up here? Mako barcode is that's my girlfriend.
Oh, but
I
sorry,
think she
just
is
trying
in
to
the. I know you're trying to do a job. I think she is in the Discord though. Not that she's like active there, but.
again, get her active here. This is now I'm pushing it to you. Now this is your job.
Okay.
I just
Speaking
want
of
to say.
deck types,
Yeah, go ahead.
Dragon Highlander Paladin.
Yeah, it could be
I
good.
want this.
Yeah.
Did you say pure paladin?
That could be a
No,
thing.
he said Dragon Paladin Highlander.
I heard
Paladin.
pure paladin. That's what I
Is
heard.
that what you wanna
Paladin,
play?
paladin.
I never actually
You know,
thought about that. But
maybe except for Zephyrus.
just throw a huge minion on curve every turn and make them deal with it. That's
Literally
enough.
paladin. I really think this might be decent based on
Yeah.
the support cards they get.
Yeah.
Paladin's like class
Possible.
cards aren't
Highlander
that bad. They have some good
paladin,
removal.
Yeah. Definitely interesting thought there.
Highlander paladin, where you just play one of each paladin card.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes, all my
Well,
bad.
then you
Very
can't play
yes.
Zephyrus then.
Oh my god! You get to play.
What's the
This is the one
point?
Sir
exception
Fiddly.
you run.
You were Sir
Zephyrus
Fiddly.
is the one
You
exception
know,
you run.
you run Zephyrus and then help you get in the Mulligan every time.
Yeah,
Right.
there you
Easy.
go.
Okay, fair
Third
enough.
mole for Zeph.
And you can't play Alex Straza, the new Highlander
Oh
support
no,
card.
you draw both. You draw that on curve
Yeah.
before you join
Oh,
the other cards.
right. Makes sense. Any other deck archetypes we're thinking about, or should I
Dragon
just make a
Highlander
couple
Quest
announcements?
Shaman.
Highlander, what? Dragon Highlander.
Dragon Highlander Quest Shaman.
It's a mouthful.
Dude,
Yeah.
but you throw elementals in there, might as
Yes.
well just.
Type.
Throw everything in there.
Yeah.
Why?
Dude.
I don't understand. I mean, I guess like Zephyrus is good enough that you play Highlander anywhere, but
Well, now you have 2 cards that you could throw in there.
it's true. Zeph
You,
and
you have your arena
Alex.
with your Kazakis
Yeah.
for every class now.
I think
Alex
Wax and
Strauss?
Dread Rogue could be interesting. I think there's a lot of synergy there,
Mhm.
and it's a little faster than Death Rattle Rogue has been in the past because you get some ways to cheat out the portal or the candles and things like that with the stowaway and whatnot. So I could see that being interesting. Maybe not tier 1, but interesting.
What do you think of what do you think of a Highlander Dragon Warrior?
Dude,
I can see it.
I can see it too.
Like
I
honestly.
think there's going to be a dragon deck for nearly every class that.
I
Yeah.
mean, with Alec,
play,
with
at
the
least
with
early
the
on.
with the new Alex Straza card and with Zephyrus, and I mean, like that's just
Good
two
cards.
right there.
Well,
And
do you,
Weir already has a ton of dragon support with it and plenty of removal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like Dynamatic Brawl Warpath, the new
And you just
Destiny
throw
card.
you just
Throw it
throw
in there.
Dr. Boom in there for your
Max
hero, and
Synergy.
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Like, if you have enough draw engines, maybe you can even run just like Dragon Queen Alexstrasza in some decks, just as like
Oh.
you play it later, like
Heal.
Elise or something. You know,
K Druid.
Druid just plays Elise, and it has a ton of duplicates. But you only want to play it late anyway. But there are still sort of those Highlanders sort of options when you have a very cycle heavy deck, and maybe that's like a late game option you can have in those decks.
So, so this is something I've been thinking about. I feel like how do you guys feel about side quest? Because this is just interesting for me. I think.
I'm not sure. Do they just have the effect once? How does it work exactly? I actually haven't.
Once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just have it once, and then yeah.
Because if they stayed on, that'd be broken.
They
Like,
don't.
Yeah.
It's
No,
once.
it's gotta be
Oh,
just
they're
like
It
the
has,
one-off.
it's
quest
one and done.
mechanic.
It was played
A
on
lot.
stream.
I feel like a lot of the quests just seem like bad like mechanics that we've already had for like
Right.
without having to have a card in our deck for. Like,
Yeah.
like I think the Druid one is like or one of them's 1+1. I think that's the Paladin one.
Yeah.
And that like Mark the Lotus for 1 mana, right? In comparison, and like Power Wild, you don't have to run a bad card in your deck and no
Yeah.
requirements.
It's 1 mana, and sometimes it's gonna go off when you don't want it to. Like maybe
Yeah.
maybe you can make it all like you're gonna have to maneuver it in a way that like you play it and then you want to have at least like 3 or 4 minions when you get the quest completed. So you
Yeah.
like if you're in that awkward part where like
You
you
can
have
redevelop.
you
Yeah.
can't redevelop until you can get all 4 at once or something, and then it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
The only one I saw that looked decent to good was the mage one.
Yeah, I think the mage both. I think the
Both mage
mage
ones are
one.
really good.
I think both mage ones look
Summon the
fine.
6/6 dragon. That one.
people
Or-
were
And then,
talking
like-
about a lot of the dragons coming in being sort of poor. I think there are a lot of neutral dragons that are actually pretty good.
Oh no, the neutral dragon look like mechs. Like this is gonna
Yeah.
carry like classes because
Yeah,
Well, there's like one with taunt, and you can't target it with spells or hero power. That'd be really good to get off Alexstrasza.
I think
Just
I
play
think
that.
a lot of people are forgetting like the neutral dragons that are already in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Like
Oh.
7 mana, 7/4 deals 7
Yeah.
mana, 7 damage to a minion.
or 5
Yeah.
mana, 5/5, gain
Come
5
on.
armor,
Well,
or whatever
yeah.
it is.
That's not neutral.
That's not neutral,
It's
but yeah.
warrior.
No, but you can
Uh,
get from Alexstrasza. You can get any
Yeah, true.
any card from
True.
that.
Hmm.
I'd say the big question with side quests is if they're going to do something you want to be doing anyways.
Yeah.
And that
Right.
if it does, do you already have 30 better cards or not? Because if
Yeah.
not, they're really mana efficient for what they do.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think it's just I think it should just start as something like I think it'd be too overpowered if it just started something you start like already have like in your like end play at the start of the game. But it's just like feels so bad if you're top decking cards and you top deck your side quest.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
that I think that's too much to come back for. I don't think side quests see like any play in majority of decks, honestly.
Yeah.
Because of that reason.
The only one that I think might see play might be the Paladin one, but even then, I don't know if it's that good.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know. It's
be
just
really good
awkward. I
for
think they're
arena.
kind of awkward sometimes. Yeah, maybe an arena. But
It's
even
what-
arena, like you want cards to do something now, right? You don't need that delayed gratification.
so you guys want to know something a really underrated card that's gonna be like really good in the meta like in the first week? It's gonna be a Dragon Ball Poacher. It says if your opponent controls a dragon, gain +4/+4 in rush. Like everyone in their mom's gonna be
Everyone's
playing
playing
dragon.
dragons. Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
that's
gonna.
on a curve. A lot of time you just play that at 4 mana 8/8, and you feel
Mhm.
pretty happy about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
with
for sure.
rush.
And think about that with the shaman quest.
Plus 12/12 on 6. We like doing
Please,
this.
thank you.
Who talks about 4 mana 7/7s anymore? It's all about 4 mana 8/8s now.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the new meta.
Hmm
The new meta.
Well, I think we should close it out, right? We've been
Yeah.
going for an hour and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to make one announcement, or I guess sort of two. So we have, I mean, this is our last show of the season, so we'll be back next season. I don't know exactly who's going to be here and what is going to happen, but we'll keep you guys posted in the Discord. But we have All-Star games coming up, so check those out on Sunday the 8th. That's this Sunday. There's the Legacy All Stars. I don't know what time that is yet, but we'll keep you posted on that. And then the Hero All Stars is Tuesday the 10th. Also, I'm not sure about the timing for that one, but we'll keep you guys posted. And then Desharma, do you know the Pro All Stars when that's going to be?
I'm not 100% sure yet because not everybody's responded to the doodle
Okay.
yet, but it's looking like Monday in between those two is looking like what it might happen. Majority of actually everybody who's signed up for it, minus I think two, I'm waiting on two or three, have said that day, Monday. So I think
Mhm.
Monday's probably going to be it.
Okay.
But we'll let you guys know in the Discord as soon as it's been finalized. But it's been a pleasure.
Work. Yeah.
Opping for you and casting with you on TT. I've been wanting to do this for the past like 3 seasons now, so finally got to do it officially. So thank you for allowing me to be here. We
Yeah,
had
of
like a
course,
little
man. It's been a pleasure.
we had like a little rivalry going this season, so
I mean, that's part of the fun. And
yeah,
to all
I
the
enjoyed
rest
it.
of the hosts here on Tavern Talk, Mako, Turd, thank you to everybody that came on as guests. Thank you to Tap Last for coming on today, and thank you for everyone that watches. I really appreciate people coming out and viewing this and enjoying it, hopefully. And if you have any thoughts or ideas for next season, please don't hesitate to let us know. Like, yeah, if there's things you wanted to see more of or things you didn't want to see, yeah, awesome. And I think
Sweet.
that's it from us.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys and have a great night.
Yeah, you guys do.
Good night, everybody.
No.